it's not just about ducks with Angela. Today I'm going to discuss how to look after your ducks, but also keeping your supplies in hand so that you don't overstretch the local farm shops or the feed shops or whatever shops that you get your stuff from for your animals, whether it's ducks, geese, chickens, rabbits, anything. So first and foremost, clean the pen out daily, their house. Take out any drop-ins that you see and put them in a bag. Not only will this concentrate the manure that they produce, but it will also reduce the amount of wastage you have on your bedding. It's much easier to just scrape it all out, put it in a bag, and then put all fresh down, but we don't really need to do that. And being as we have to economize, I think it's best if we just take the localized poop out and wet bedding, because obviously with the different doors open to their houses, the rain gets in, so we just have to get rid of that wet bedding and any poop. So to scale it down, I just collected a small amount from the duck house. Then that I will reserve and use in my raised beds at the bottom on my carrots. So here I am in my duck house. So what I've done is I've removed all the poop, or the majority of it, all that I can find at least, and just sprinkled a little bit of fresh straw down. If you keep the poop packets, if you will, or the poop blobs down, you won't have to do a full-scale clean, at least ways not so often. So I've just put not even a third of a flake of straw. It's more like, I would say, less than an eighth of a bale, an eighth of a flake of a bale of straw, just to put wherever they will be nesting. They like to nest over there, so when I come in the morning, there'll be a nice little nest by there. They also like to nest and to lay their eggs behind the boards. So ducks will happen upon laying eggs wherever they fancy. But my ducks they are quite trained in where they lay. So I don't particularly worry about finding eggs. Sometimes I find one or two outside, but in this dreadful time we're having, along with the very poor weather, we have to really struggle to keep our animals clean and dry. And it's a tough thing to do. We don't want to lose any of our animals that are in production, because people need us to look after our animals and to, if they can call on you for an egg or two or for whatever, then, obviously with all the cautions we got now, it's a case of leaving things on the doorstep, putting your money, any money that comes into your hand, don't put it in your hand, put it in a glass of, immediately put it in a glass of sterilizing solution to remove any germs or bacteria that may be on there, because this thing is so widespread now. It doesn't mean, I hope you can see me, it doesn't mean that we have to stop being neighbourly. Make sure your elderly relatives or your elderly neighbours that are confined or isolated in their homes now have access to fresh food, which is becoming more difficult. When I went to a certain shop yesterday, there were no eggs, no flour, no yeast, no sugar, no tonic water, for goodness sakes. I mean, it was empty. Just all the things you would imagine that should be there on the shelves is gone. There was no toilet paper, There was a little bit of bleach, but I don't need to buy bleach, so I left it there. If you don't need it, don't buy it. I've been prepared now for some years. Since I had pneumonia and sepsis, I've made sure that there's, I've got plenty in, whether it's my own produce or whether it's things that my sons might need in an emergency, i.e. if I can't get it, it's there for them. It is our own responsibility to make sure we have enough if you're able to. So, and if everybody had been prepared, then there wouldn't be the damage on the shops that there are now. A lot of shops are shutting their fresh meat counters, their fish counters, their deli counters. Sainsbury's has chosen to do this, not because they're in short supply, but because they need the staff on filling the shelves, and the shelves are just being emptied. So anyway, that's enough about that. So this is how I sort the duck house. A minimal of wastage now. I have to try and make my stocks last. I am on isolation myself now because because of health issues, and so I need to make sure that I can make whatever stock I have left last. So yeah, so I'll crack on with the video. Another thing about keeping your animals safe in the bad weather, or whether it's too much sunshine, or whether it's like we're having now, constant rain. We've had one sunny day since, well, I can't remember. The summer seems to be so long in coming. But you have to make sure that your pens, your animals, are free from floods or from too much water, which is difficult. So what you need to do, here I put a little trench here so that any rain can fall off where it needs to fall off, or run down when it needs to run down, and it can find its way out. That's the most important thing. Just a small shallow trench, so that's lower than the other slabs or cement or whatever you keep your animals on. Or even if it's on the ground, you need to have a little section where the water can just run free from your animals and run to somewhere where it's more suitable to be. Also, don't cut down on the amount of water you give your animals. In bad weather like we're having, and in any difficult weather, you need to make sure they have fresh water. If they don't, it means they're going to go scooting around in the muck and the whatever else to try and find water, which ducks do anyway. But you have to be doubly vigilant that they have fresh water. If they've got fresh water, then they can be, then you know they're quite safe. The trouble with ducks and any other animals is, and chickens as well, because they scratch, and ducks because they drill and they smush around, is that if you don't keep their pens clean, bacteria like anywhere else will build up. So part of duck keeping, poultry keeping, animal keeping is to keep their areas as clean as you possibly can. I don't mean get out with the bleach and scrub it, I mean just keep it as clean as it's practically possible, or thereabouts. So you don't want your animals getting sick. We have to take extra care of them because people will be needing from your animals. And please don't go extortionate, putting extortionate prices on things just because things are difficult and hard. Other people are finding things hard and difficult. There's so many bad things going on at the minute. People selling toilet rolls for £2 each, I heard tell yesterday, which is not £2 a packet, but £2 for one roll. I mean, that's just ridiculous, and I hope when this crisis is over that people remember who it was that was ripping them off and then block them from contact. Don't buy from them anymore. It's as simple as, my eggs are the same price as they was last year. So why should I put the price up because eggs are scarce? You know, it's and the only reason they're scarce are people that must be going in and just buying the whole crate full. So yeah, just be careful and conscious of what you're doing, and look after your animals with clean water. Careful practice when cleaning their houses as to preserve as much as you can, because their comfort is paramount. If they are happy and if they are healthy, then they will lay happy, healthy eggs. At least my ducks do. But my ducks are spoiled, as I know Lizorabs are spoiled as well. It's difficult to keep them in their pens at the minute, just because the sheer wetness of things, but we have to do what we have to do. So yeah, so there we are. This is the necessities that we have to do. So there's the ducks down there, and you see how much water that there is. It's just, this used to be a stream, a river, a brook, whatever, some years ago when the houses were built. But now it's flooded, and it's been flooded for many months now. I can't remember the last time. In fact, it's probably on video the last time it wasn't flooded. But yes, the amount of rain we've been having, it's been cleaning the surface of the wood chips, but it is very soggy underfoot. So this is my bag of duck poop. So I have to do this every day. Usually I fill up a whole bag of bedding and put fresh down, but as I say, we have to economise, because we don't know if we're going to sell out in the shops, in the farm shops, in the farm supplies. I hope we don't, but you never do. You never do know if they are or if they're not. So I shall put this by, and this will go in the bottom of my carrot bed and my parsnip bed before I make the raised beds for them. So I hope this works. That's my lettuce. So these are parsnips, white gem. I think they're my favourites. So I'll just I'm not very good at sewing. And I'll just in a week or two I will plant a few more. So in this bag I have Carrot Dragon. It's a nice purple or red carrot. Apparently. It's my first time growing it this year, so I'll just you can always my favourite, Cosmic Purple. I will label these once I get in. I might write my labels and you can thin them out. It is very wet and then cold. And you haven't got to do them in rows. You can just sow them willy-nilly, you know. But that's okay. It is what it is. It's carrots. Now I have autumn pink. My parsnips. I've not grown these ones before, so these are Berlissa carrots. So never grown these before. There's more parsnips, but I won't open those. I've put autumn pink in. Solar yellow. I'll put a small row of these in. But by far the tastiest is up till now. That roast up really, really well, that cook really, really well and taste delicious. And the Cosmic Purple. So these are going down there. These are snowball onions. I've got quite a few onions in the garden. Hopefully it'll confuse the carrot fly, and then maybe the onions or the carrots will oops. So when you plant onions, if you can make sure that the rough end is the root, where the roots will grow, and the pointy end is where the stems will grow, the leaves. Right. My God gracious. If you see there's one there that the stem is growing, and then the roots will come up from there. So I got so wet yesterday, don't you? I know you might say that I'm over, and in fact I probably am over planting. But see, I don't need these onions to grow all that big. And then I shall pull them and take them and cure them. Dry them, you know. It's so heavy underfoot. Oh my gracious. So gently tuck them in. I hope they don't get too wet and rot, but it is what it is, you can only try. So what I'll do now, apart from check for sluggies, is I'll cover it for a day or two, not for longer, because it'll stop the seeds from sprouting. But Here's another thing that I must consider. You see, when planting carrots and other things direct into the soil, is my neighbour has 2 cats. And, you need to protect from cats. But until I've put my cloche up and that, the cardboard will have to do. Right then, so that's it from me today. Thank you very much. I don't know if you can see me either. So that's it from me today on not just about ducks on this very, very, very wet and quite cold day. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a bit of snow, but it's not forecast. But so there we are. God bless you all. Stay safe. Be careful. Don't forget to wash your hands, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Not Just About Ducks. Thanks very much. This is Angela saying TTFN, ta-ta for now. Be safe and God bless you all. Thanks very much.